My name is José Elias Gómez. After I read the Bible, make Elias very, very, very different. Before it was, I didn't like my name. Now I love it. I grew up in El Salvador, San Salvador, and my mom was pregnant. She couldn't go to the hospital. So in the bench of the park, that was me. Because I was a poor child, my mom was a single mom. And I grew up like that. Since at the beginning, I always wanted to find out, what is God? Who is God? When I was 18 years old, I became a revolutionary to do a civil war. Then I didn't even know what I was fighting for. I was in the rank of sergeant. They sent me to actually kill somebody. But that wasn't in my heart. And somebody told me that they were looking for me. And I was working. And they took like 10 people in there and put them on the line. They put a hood on them. They put some gasoline and tell the maileys, and if you don't say the names or where can I find this guy, we're gonna kill you. So what they did is they put it on fire after they get more names. So I got there and I saw the bodies and I saw a list on the tree. There was my name, so I left by myself without money from my country. I only have for those days, it was like 3 colones. It was kind of like $1. I had a wife, I had my mom. My son was, let's say, 16 months, something like that. But what could I do at that time?
No importa la razón, solo el porqué. No puedo con la pena.
So I left to the next border. So it was Guatemala. Somehow I did some work for somebody so I can get some money to get to the frontier. And when I get to the border, I could go across with my identity, but they were looking for me. So I couldn't use it, so I went across the river too. But it took me from El Salvador to Federal District in Mexico like 1 year. Because I was walking, I was kind of like, my journey was just surviving. And I found out that they were looking for me. They found the place where I was living in. They tortured my mom. They broke her legs. I felt like, angry, so angry. Then I felt like come back and not to care about anything else, but just revenge. Then my mom said, I'd rather for you to be far away and alive than near me and dead. She started to tell me, God will protect you. And I started thinking about it more and more. After a while, I kept moving on my journey, and I was already with another guy, and we were always walking through the railroad. We were hungry, thirsty, tired. We didn't know what to do. But far away we saw a little casita right there. So that day we approached the house, and a skinny lady, tall, she gave us food to take with us. And we turned around and we, on our way to the railroad again, I tried to turn around with them. Believe it or not, that place, it wasn't there. Maybe it was a mirage or something, but how could we say that it was a mirage when we had the food in our hands? So I started thinking about it more and more. Then there was a higher power. Somebody was taking care of us. When I go across the border here in the United States and thinking about help my mom, help my son and my wife over here, that was my goal, to get him out, which I did eventually. For work over here, I started working in constructions for a company for 10 years. So I made a lot of money. Then I quit from that company and start doing my company and make more money. If you don't know God, you don't know what to do, what He gave you. And I had the liberty to do a lot of things, bad things. And I lost my wife. We got divorced. We got my kids, they grew up, and I lost everything, and I started drinking heavily the way that I was kind of even sleep on the street. I got to the place that I was wondering if there's God. If there's God, God, you exist, give me a sign, give me something to start with again, and I will do whatever you desire. But just give me a peace in my heart. And believe it or not, that night, I didn't feel like drinking anymore. I didn't need somebody to tell me, stop doing it. And that's what He did. He chose me, then there's a way. And amazingly, everything was turning around for the best. So what I did is, I want to go to church because I feel better, but I don't know where to go. So my son was living at those days at Loma Linda, and I asked him if he can let me stay in his house, and he said, well, yeah. The following day, I took a shower in the morning on Saturday, and I said, well, I'm going to go and see if I can find a church. And I started walking. I didn't know anything about Adventists. So in the corner of Barton Road in Mountain View, a man get off the bus with the Bible under his hand. And I said, I got to follow him and ask him what's going on, where he goes. On those days, that church didn't have any sign. I walk over, the guy went into that building, and I sit on next to an old man, and he told me, oh, you're new. I'll take you to the Bible study. So that was amazing. And I said, well, okay, but I don't have a Bible. Don't worry. I'm going to give you my Bible so you can read it. The Bible, I tried to read it before. It didn't make sense because I started reading Genesis and it's kind of like I was falling asleep. But this time, this guy gave me his Bible and he was explaining passage by passage, and I love it. And he was trying to realize that there is God. There is God, then I gotta know what it is. On my 50s, I started being an Adventist, and I feel like I just born. I can tell you, I wouldn't live. I'd be dead. The Bible, it was my companion when I was stopped by the police, when I was drinking and all that stuff. So I had to go to jail for 9 months, and it became part of me, the Bible, because I didn't know where to go, what to do in that place. So what I had to do is have my Bible and just pray it and open it, and it gave me the answer. And I started believing. So it shows me a lot of things, the Bible, step by step. Then I've been kind of like slowly discovering and trying to make analysis of what it says. The Bible is, for me, is, I would call it my guide of life, the guide to know Him, to know what His desire is. I thank God more when I'm sick or when I don't have anything. I have more even now than before. I'm not rich. I don't need anything else but what I have. I help people, and that's what it matters. You gotta be good for people.